Now, next very interesting example that we're going to see is when we're working with frames. You remember we clicked on frame, but one of the button inside that frame using click method. If you go over here to back to the frame example, then this was the button that we clicked. So we directly inspected the element. We have taken the XPath and then we have performed clicked on it. But if you look at this element, I can see something called as on click as well over here. On click equal to my function. So what is this on click? This is some event. I mean some function. Function as in like there are n number of similar functions, like you may have heard about on submit, on mouse over, right? On click. These are basically JavaScript functions, right? So as in although they have already provided the script, see my function, this is a JavaScript document.getElementId, something like this, right? So what this JavaScript is doing, this JavaScript is printing this submit the form, right? This JavaScript function is attached to this button. Whenever you click on this, this will execute the JavaScript. So instead of clicking on this button, can I directly execute this JavaScript as well? Yes, we can do it, right? With the help of one of the interface that is called as JavaScript executor, right? This is, at times it is very helpful using this JavaScript executor. We can do a lot of things. As in, if you look at this interface, there's one important method that is called as execute script, where you need to provide this script, basically, that you want to execute. So how are you going to provide it? Let's try using this. So this JavaScript, it's an interface. So we cannot create an object of this interface. So how are you going to call this method, execute script? So there's a syntax. Either you call it something like this. You need to typecast it with your driver reference. Typecasting as in, see, you directly cannot create an object of this interface. So in order to call any method from this interface, you need to typecast it through any of these class objects, right? So let's say we are using Chrome driver. So Chrome driver object is actually stored inside this driver reference. So what we can do, in order to call this, I'll comment out this, and I need to write code something like this, then call the method execute script and provide the script. This is how we'll be typecasting the driver reference. And in execute script, you just need to pass on your script. Your script is my function. That's it, JavaScript function. Save this and run this. And let's see if it clicks on that button or not. And see, it clicked. So this is how we have called the internal JavaScript of this website, and we have executed it. Instead of doing it like this, there is another syntax. So you can even do it like this: JavaScript executor JS equal to JavaScript executor, and typecast it using the driver reference. And then you'll say JS.execute script. This way as well you can do it, and pass on your script over here. Script is my function. Save and run, and it will do the same stuff. Right? So what we did so far is we have called the JavaScript function of this website. So this JavaScript executor is very helpful, not just in getting the JavaScript functionality of a website. We can inject our own JavaScript as well. If you are a JavaScript developer, then you can write your own JavaScript code over here as well. We know that where JavaScript works on the client end, on the browser end, right? Any action you may want to perform on the browser, you can handle it using JavaScript. You can click on this button as well. Instead of using the click method, JavaScript looks something like this: document.getElementId. If you give the ID of the element, say .click, it will click on the button. Anything you want to do. If you don't know JavaScript, don't worry. Let's say I want to highlight this button. Highlight this button with some color. So I don't know JavaScript. I can simply say, go to Google and say how to highlight an element in JavaScript. And just type Selenium along with it. You'll get examples related to Selenium. So let's say if I go to this link, and let's see if we get something over here. See, same JavaScript executor, .execute script, and this is the script. This is the script, right? So what you need to do, js.execute script, and pass on the script. See, argument 0 style border 3 pixel solid red color. It will change the red color to the provided element. Element you can provide it. Driver.find element by .xpath, and give the xpath of the text box which you want to highlight with the red color. So ID, we can take ID, my submit. ID, my submit. So let's run this and let's see if it highlights or not. See, it highlights the element. Now, if you want to take a screenshot, let's say if something fails on the page and you want to highlight that section, you can highlight. This functionality is not provided by WebDriver, right? There is no method called highlight an element, right? But using JavaScript executor, you can call a JavaScript function and then you can execute it. So you can inject your own JavaScript as well on the page, or you can call the JavaScript of the website as well, right? So this is what the benefit of using JavaScript executor. Now you can take a screenshot, and screenshot will gonna have this highlighted element that, okay, this is where the error occurred. So you can highlight that particular area as well, right? So how to capture a screenshot? This will gonna look in the next lecture, right? But this is what your JavaScript executor is all about. Thank you.